Here's a fact about me. If I had to pick between a truly wireless earbud or a headphone, I would pick a TWS any day because I find headphones fatiguing for long listening sessions. And I was expecting to feel the same with the Headphone 1. But no. So the Headphone 1 has definitely pleasantly surprised me, and this is the most excited I've been to talk about an under embargo product in a long time. So here goes nothing.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
I mean something, you know what, let me not babble. Let me just get to the point. Let me get down to the review of the Headphone 1, and trust me, I am pretty impressed. Alright, if you're watching me for the first time, I'm Eshat. This is Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive headphone reviews. Now, if I have to pick one tech product that can also be categorized as a fashion accessory because they just stand out, it has to be the headphone, right? Just take a look at the massive popularity of Beats by Dr. Dre, very bold colors, very bold logo, and of course, celebrity endorsements too. And therefore, my precise reaction when I first saw the Headphone 1's design is, wow, they look awesome. And the first thought in my head was, hey, I'd rock them even if they don't sound great. The design's definitely eye-catching, it's a head turner and has the potential to become iconic too. Sure, it looks like Nothing's designers stuffed a cassette tape into this plastic transparent shell, but it's that exact retro futuristic vibe that is peak Nothing, and I am here for it, honestly. Now you get two color options. The one that we've been testing is the white color variant. There's also the black color variant, which by the way, I have a soft spot for black. I really like that one a lot more. Now, by the way, this transparent plastic shell actually sits on top of an aluminum ear cup, and there's an aluminum metal connector that connects the ear cups to the headband as well. The design feels super sturdy, and I have a feeling that it might last generations too. And the good thing is that Nothing also offers IP52 water resistance. The headband itself is made entirely of polycarbonate, that is to keep the weight down, and the adjustment mechanic is kind of smooth, very similar to what the AirPods Max and the XM5s do. That said, I do wish that the PU leather and memory foam that's there on the headrest had a little more padding to make it slightly more comfortable. And I must mention this, just like the XM5 and the AirPods Max, they do fold flat, but they don't swivel inwards. Now let's compare these products with the AirPods Max and the XM5s. You do not get any sort of water resistance, whereas you get IP52 with the Headphone 1. In terms of weight, the AirPods Max is the heaviest of the three, obviously, because it uses an all-metal construction. It is nearly 400 grams, by the way, weighing you down entirely. The second heaviest would be the Headphone 1, and in comparison to these two, the WH-1000XM5 is like a featherweight because it's just 250 odd grams. And when you look at the clamping force or the amount of pressure that the headphones put on your head when you're wearing them, I'm like the perfect head to test that out. The AirPods Max has the highest clamping force, which makes it very uncomfortable for long listening sessions, whereas the Headphone 1 is the most comfortable and the best fitting headphone that I have tested in a long while. The main reason why I don't use headphones is that I find them very fatiguing for long listening sessions if the clamping force is too tight. I didn't feel that with the Headphone 1. I legit used these for 3 hours at a stretch, and yet I didn't feel any fatigue. With the AirPods Max, I have to take them out in 45 minutes. With the Sony, I can go for about 2 hours. As you can tell, I'm particularly impressed with the design, the comfort, and the fit of the Headphone 1. Also, one more thing I must definitely mention is that the case is nice and slim and it fits into your bag very nicely. But the quality of the material used in the case is definitely much better on the XM5 because you do get a better quality fabric, and the zipper is of better quality too. It's smoother. There are a bunch of things still left to talk about the Headphone 1, but if you haven't already, and if you like the kind of audio reviews that I do, I'd love your support. Go hit that subscribe button. You know what? Nothing has decided not to go with touch controls for a full set of tactile buttons. You get rollers, you get paddles, you get buttons, you get switches. And honestly, all of that works together brilliantly. So the first button that you get is a Bluetooth pairing button on the inner side of the ear cup. There's a second button that you see over here, which is basically an instant shortcut button. And you can customize this button to do many things. For example, you can set it to open the voice assistant or even change between equalizer settings. But if you have a Nothing phone, then you can use it to open up essential spaces, take voice recordings, and save them as voice memos. But the most interesting thing that you can do with this button is channel hopping. Now, this feature works only with the Nothing Phone 3, but essentially what it does is that it can actually switch between Spotify, YouTube, whatever podcast service that you use on the fly. This is very similar to how you switch between radio channels on your transistor. Now, with this horizontal roller, you can actually adjust it for volume controls. It is very smooth and seamless. And you can also press it to play and pause music too. And then there are the paddles with which you can not only, change tracks, but you can also rewind and forward tracks. So if you ask me, this layout definitely feels way more intuitive than the touch controls on the Sony WH-1000XM5 and the crown on the AirPods Max. Not that the crown is bad, but this just feels a whole lot more useful. Now, while testing, I did notice one thing is that weirdly these controls do not work in the wired mode for the headphone one. By the way, you also do get the option for ear detection. So if you take these headphones off your head, they will pause music, and when you wear them back again, they will start playing music again. But here's the thing, the sensor for the ear detection is only on the right cup. So when you take the right cup like this, it will pause music, and then when you put it back again, it will play music. But it doesn't work similarly with the left ear cup because it doesn't have the sensor. Just a tiny little detail that I noticed. Now, connectivity has been rock solid. You get support for Bluetooth version 5.3, not the latest 5.4, but you also do get support for Google Fast Pairing and Microsoft Swift Pair 2. And Nothing claims that the Bluetooth connection has a range of 10 meters if there are no obstacles in between like a brick wall. And what I noticed in my testing is that definitely the headphone one actually holds on to Bluetooth connection stronger than both the AirPods Max and the Sony WH-1000XM5s. Now, to test the app, I used the beta tester version that Nothing sent across to us, and therefore you cannot see the product photo up top. But below that, you can see how much battery life is left on the headphones itself, and below that you get all of the other functions that are easily accessible. So you get the option to switch between noise cancellation modes, and you get toggles for spatial audio, dual connection. You also do get a very elaborate EQ mode along with parametric EQ. It's just a list that goes on and on. And it's not just feature rich, it's actually very beautifully designed in typical Nothing fashion. It's clean, it's minimal, it's got an aesthetic that screams awesome, by the way, because I kind of love it. And it is definitely way better than whatever Sony's headphone app has going on, because I kind of find it extremely intrusive. Now, the low lag mode with the headphone one is a little bit of a gimmick, because what Nothing claims is that you get less than 120 milliseconds of latency when you connect it to a Nothing phone. 120 milliseconds itself is pretty high if you ask me. And spatial audio has to be the least impressive feature with the headphone one. I didn't find anything special about the audio that I was listening to on the Android phone and the iPhone that I tested. Definitely Sony's 360 reality audio and Apple's AirPod Max's spatial audio tuning is much better. But the ANC is very good at cutting out sounds up to 42 dB, but it still falls short of the WH-1000XM5 and the AirPods Max's performance. And primarily because Sony and Apple do the attenuation better, especially with Apple, the wind noise cutting is superb. And they also have a wider frequency range in terms of cutting out sounds. You do also get the option for adaptive ANC with the headphone one, but I prefer to keep it at high at all times because the highest ANC level is the best. Also, it doesn't create any sort of vacuum, so even at high, it's pretty comfortable. The mic quality is surprisingly great on the headphone one. In fact, I've done a test comparing all the three mics. Take a listen to it for yourself first.
So right now I'm testing the mics on the AirPods Max with the fans rolling. So right now I'm testing the mics on the Nothing Headphone 1. So right now I'm testing the mics of the Sony WH-1000XM5s.
So as you can tell, the AirPods Max's mic quality is not that great, and I've been mentioning this, on many occasions. With the headphone one, you do get much better mic quality, especially the fact that the ANC works exceptionally well to cut out the whirring of the fan above my head. And the WH-1000XM5 takes it one step further. It's not better at ANC or anything, but it's louder and much more crystal clear. It's got more clarity. So obviously, I'm pretty excited to talk about the sound. But before that, what you get are two 40mm dynamic drivers. And surrounding these drivers are 8.9mm PU surrounds, which Nothing claims actually improves, the efficiency of the bass and reduces the distortion. And yes, the sound is tuned by Kef. For those who don't know, it's a leading UK-based brand which makes hi-fi audio equipment, which also includes some fantastic sounding speakers. Audiophiles, I'm pretty certain, would definitely know about this brand. For the high-res nerds like me, you do get support for LDAC codec, and that's not it. You get wired audio connection not just through the 3.5mm headphone jack, but also through a Type-C cable, both of which Nothing bundles inside the box, and they are really high-quality cables. And you know what? The LDAC codec is the way to listen to these headphones. I could actually tell that the same song was more detailed and closer to what the wired connection sounded like, as opposed to the AAC codec, which is not as detailed as the LDAC codec. Let me just put it that way. So, the headphone one sound can be defined as being analytical in nature, which is precisely how KEF would have wanted to tune it, right? And in the default balanced EQ, the sound does sound balanced, which is like the name suggests. And more importantly, none of the frequencies overpower each other. They each have their room to shine. And I really want to start off by talking about the bass, because the bass is fast, it's got very good attack and little to no decay at all. I've been tripping on Char Diwari's music recently. Fantastic artist, by the way. So you have songs like Roshni and Farebi, and in Farebi there is like a fast bass attack like underlying the song, and the attack was on point on the headphone one. But it doesn't have the volume of bass or the boisterousness or the rumble that you come to expect from headphones. A lot of people like that kind of bass from their headphones. Now, if you want that kind of sound, Nothing also gives you the option to play around with the bass enhancement setting, and there are 5 levels to it. Now, while talking about the mids, they're definitely not recessed and come through cleanly, but I wouldn't categorize the headphone one as a mid-forward sounding headphone. Now, I was listening to A.R. Rahman's Adiye, a track that I use a lot for testing, and I really wanted Sid Sriram's vocal to come to the fore. So what I did was play around with the parametric EQ for a bit, and then, pulled up the mids. It started sounding a little mid-forward after that. Basically, you can play around with the EQ a lot, and the parametric EQ that was introduced with the Nothing Ear last year is actually one of the best solutions that you have in the consumer, audio products industry or category right now. The treble response is also good with a fair bit of extension, and it is not sibilant at all. Now, if you're somebody who's not okay with treble spikes and you find them fatiguing, you won't have a problem with the headphone one at all. I can promise you that. Having said that, I would have liked a little bit more detail in the top end, but I'll take this too. This is fine too. And that's also because these headphones do sound airy. All the instruments get enough space to breathe and float around in the soundscape that the headphone creates for you. And you know what? I was super impressed with the imaging. Now, Yoshi Horikawa's songs basically are fantastic for testing audio products, and he's like a Japanese music producer and sound engineer. His song Letter has the sound of pen scribbling on paper, and that moves from left to right and right to left and around your head. The headphone one manages to recreate that feeling of, the moving around your head really, really well. And I'm talking about stereo imaging, by the way, not spatial audio. And you have multiple eclectic sounds in the song. The tonality of that has been reproduced exceptionally well. And, the headphone one, especially for the price, does a fantastic job. As for the sound staging, I would categorize it as good. I could sense some horizontal depth and vertical height too. Having said that, I've heard other open back headphones with wider sound stages as well. So as you can tell, I love the sound signature of the headphone one, and the Kef collaboration is definitely working wonders for Nothing's first headphone. And every time I listen to it, it brings a wide smile to my face. Now, to compare the sound of the headphone one to the XM5s. Honestly, I've never liked the sound signature of the XM5s to begin with. They're a little too mass market for me. The default sound signature is slightly bloated, and a lot of people have complained about the fact that the XM5s actually sound worse off than the earlier generation XM4. Now, I would love to test out the XM6 next, because apparently they've improved the sound, but I haven't yet, so I can't really comment on that right now. Now, in comparison, the AirPods Max, which by the way costs 3 times as much as the headphone one, does retrieve more details for sure. You do hear better tonality in the instruments, and it does sound good. Having said that, the headphone one is airier, it's got a little more soundstage, it's got better imaging. I kind of prefer the sound signature of the headphone one over even the more expensive AirPods Max. Finally, to talk about the battery life of the headphone one, even here, Nothing's hit it out of the park. Now, the brand claims that if you're listening to music with the AAC codec and ANC on, you can get 35 hours of music playback, and with LDAC, it goes down to 30 hours. And in my testing, it lasted anywhere close to 28 hours. This is beyond impressive, because what Sony can achieve is 30 hours with AAC. With LDAC, it goes down even further, so the battery life is better. Sony's still good, but with the AirPods Max, what you get is just 20 hours of battery life. So yeah, I don't know what sorcery Nothing's done here. Also, you can fast charge this, like you can do like a quick charge and get like 5 hours of music playback, all of that. But to do a full charge from 0 to 100 takes about 2 hours, which is fine because it's got a 1000 mAh battery inside, slightly larger than 1000 mAh. Nothing has made some quality products till date, but the headphone one has to be their most refined product yet. And the fun fact is, we are talking about a Gen 1 product here. This could very well be the breakout hit for Nothing, giving it global fame, just like the AirPods did for Apple. Carl's mission of making tech fun again, I actually felt that while reviewing the headphone one. I'd be recommending these headphones to all my friends, family members, and even random strangers that I met on the street. And as for the awesome Trakin Tech English family, I must say this: if you are considering a pair of ANC headphones, and if you're looking at options from Bose, from Sennheiser, from Sony and AirPods Max, I think that the Nothing Headphone one should be at least in your top 3 options out there. And to make things better, Nothing has priced these sensibly. It's available at a retail price of $299 or $21,999 in India with a $2,000 instant discount at the initial sales at least. So what do you think? Do you like it? Do you love it? I do, for sure. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and keep listening to music.